Dear students, welcome to our class on Drought Climatology 3. In the first basics two classes, we tried to understand what is a drought, particularly with reference to agriculture. So, drought is a situation in which crops fail to mature because of insufficient soil moisture. Here, I would like to impress upon you two important bits that would appear. See, there are two terms. Terminal drought. Okay, what is a terminal drought for a crop? Here, please understand this question. Even though it is basics, this question would appear in your exam most of the time, or you may be asked during the interviews. So, what is it? Terminal drought is with reference to non-availability of soil moisture. Non-availability of soil moisture for the crop. Now, that means neither rainfall nor irrigation facilities are available. Once again, I repeat it. Terminal drought. What is meant by terminal drought for a crop? Insufficient soil moisture. Now, second thing is when air temperature crosses 31, irrespective of the region, particularly you go to somewhere in between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn in these areas, if air temperature crosses 31, naturally, that air temperature induces a drought, on crop. That's what we call it as the, please tell me, I told several times. So, air temperature results in the reduction, that's what, reduction in the maturity stage of the crop, Higher air temperature reduces the maturity stage. Once the mature, for example, a crop has a maturity period of 30 days or 35 days. It is reduced by say 10%, or that means 3 to 4 days or 3 to 5 days. What will happen? Please note drastic reduction of yield in terms of quantity. Number one, quality wise, shriveled grains you will find. Shriveled. That means there are some wrinkled spots, wrinkled or small listen spots on the grain. So these are the basics that you should learn from your examination point of view. Now in this class, what we are trying to understand, drought, famine, hunger. This is a sequence. Drought, famine, hunger. Drought is a slow creeping disaster. Drought won't occur all of a sudden overnight, except when some available water in a particular large region is contaminated, so that's a different situation. However, generally, meteorological drought, hydrological drought, agricultural drought, even in the agricultural drought, so early season, mid season, late season, or socio-economic drought, or atmospheric drought. What is atmospheric drought? Atmospheric drought is a situation in which there is insufficient relative humidity coupled with dry and hot winds, atmospheric. Socio-economic means, people are affected by different droughts. So socially, economically, it affects that particular region. Now, here, the sequence of drought, famine, and hungry. So this is how it is happening. First we discuss, then just the basic principles of classification. There are different types of classification of drought, particularly from the agricultural meteorological point of view. We try to understand reasons for recurring of drought. Nobody can stop drought. Why nobody can stop? So these are the basic things. In the basic three we are going to understand. Please note that just I read and I try to explain to you. Drought management in India or in Asia has evolved considerably. It has. Drought management technologies were evolved since 1900 in the Asian region. Now, during the British period, all these areas during the British period, every droughts would threaten the availability of food and create a situation of mass hunger, famine and mass hunger. So, during the British regime, even though some steps were taken with the available technologies, but foolproof technologies to avoid two things, famine and hunger, drought was not seen from that angle, particularly agricultural side. Right. Millions of people perished in famines. One of the most positive achievements since 1900 in this region has been complete avoidance of famine. Okay, since 1900, particularly early 90s onwards, scientists were able to, okay, develop technology to avoid famines, of course, hunger, which is followed later on. Hunger is also almost eliminated now from this Asian region. Now, the government's emphasis on food production, distribution. This bit will come, please. Several governments, they have their emphasis on how to manage the droughts. So, two things, this bit will come. That's why I am telling several times. Emphasis on food production, distribution of food grains through public distribution system. These two, food production increase, distribution through public distribution systems. Through different programs in this region. Food for Work program, for example, like that, have succeeded in meeting the basic entitlements of the millions of the poor towards avoiding famine and hunger. To avoid famine and hunger, food production is increased one side. Second thing is the food distribution system through different programs have decreased substantially. Number one, drought effects, negative effects. Then almost elimination of famine and total elimination of hunger. This is the thing that I would like to say. Apart from fall in agriculture production during the droughts, drought has other manifestations. For example, shortage of drinking water. We have to have the water. Human body itself has 80% water. Plants have 90 to 95% of their parts as water. Now, see, shortage of drinking water, waterless dams, okay, reservoirs for power generation, okay, which has a severe impact on economy of the region. So, drought affects not only famine and hunger, power, electricity, power generation, water, so many things. Now, drought management in Asian region has always been a large and complex operation. It's a large and complex operation, particularly in India. Huge population, 135 crore, 1.35 billion population. Okay, it is a large and complex operation requiring close coordination among central government, state government, district government at the village level. Now, central and state governments formulate the policies. This bit will come. Central and state government decides the policies, while the district administration and departments implement the drought relief and mitigation measures. Drought relief and mitigation measures are implemented by the departments from district level itself. But policies are decided at the central and state level. This is what I would like to share with you. Another important point from the BITS point of view, beloved students, please note that drought management system in India emphasizes drought management. Basically, it emphasizes what this bit will come. Relief-based approach. India follows a relief-based approach for drought management. This is the thing. Another important thing is a bit-wise. When agricultural drought, what is agricultural drought? When plants fail or crops fail to mature because of insufficient soil moisture, here the important point is meteorological drought prolongs, hydrological drought sets in. Now here, as far as agricultural drought is concerned, 4 consecutive weeks of meteorological drought impacts negatively on the crops. This is the bit, another thing you will come. Now here, so basic principles of some classification of drought. You see, agricultural drought, hydrological drought, meteorological drought. Even in the agricultural drought, early season, mid-season, late season, socio-economic drought, atmospheric drought, water, physiological drought. Okay, these are all the things. However, from your examination point of view, first, and from agricultural meteorological point of view, I would like to share with you that a drought year, please note that this bit will come. A drought year as a whole is defined by India Meteorological Department as a year in which the overall rainfall deficiency is more than 10% of a long period average, LPA we call it. So, long period average, okay, is there, say for example 1000 mm should occur. Now, 10% or more of negative side of this 1000 mm is the severe drought, and it is declared as a drought year. Second thing here is more than 25% 20% of its area is affected by drought conditions. Geographical area 329 million hectares. More than 20% of it is affected by drought because of uneven distribution of rainfall or any other reason. Then it is called as a drought year. It is declared as a drought year. Now, see, from the classification point of view, seasonal distribution of rainfall in India, we should know from your examination point of view as well. So, what is it? Pre-monsoon. Pre-monsoon means, before the onset of southwest monsoon, March, April, May. During these months, 10% of the rainfall we get. To be precise, 10.4% rainfall we get. Otherwise, 10%, please remember. Second thing is the southwest monsoon. During the southwest monsoon, India receives 73.4% or 73% of the total rainfall is received during the southwest monsoon period. In the northeast monsoon period, 13% or to be precise, 13.3%. Finally, during the winter season, we get January and February 2.9 or 3% of the total rainfall. So, why I am sharing with you is these are the basics, these are the basic principles to define the drought from agriculture point of view. Next thing is very interesting thing. What is the cropped area basis? Cropped area basis is if rainfall, okay, average, if rainfall average is around less than 750 mm, low rainfall, less than 750 mm regions, we call it as a low rainfall areas. In India, 33% of the area is under low rainfall area. We call it as how much for low rainfall area? 750 mm and less rainfall. Now, see, this classification is cropped area falling under various ranges of rainfall. Okay, in India. Not in India. I am telling you, cropped area falling under various ranges. Now, cropped area, 33% of the cropped area is under the low rainfall with less than 750 mm. 35% of the area is under medium rainfall, which ranges between 750 to 1125 mm, and high rainfall area is 24%. 1126 to 2000 mm, and finally more than 2000 mm, very high rainfall area, that is 8% of the Indian subcontinent is under very high rainfall of more than 2000 millimeters per year. Now, see, from drought prone areas point of view also, we should understand the drought. What is semi-arid zone? What is otherwise? First, let us start with the arid zone. Arid zone means, rainfall is always a deficient irrespective of the month of a year. So, 20% of mean annual precipitation, that is 100 to 400 millimeters of rainfall per annum. We call it as the semi-arid zone. It is 20%. Okay. Now, semi-arid 37%. Okay, mean annual precipitation. 37% of mean annual precipitation. That is 400 to 600 mm. Semi-arid. In the semi-arid region, water is a surplus in some months, deficient in some months. In the arid region, always deficient irrespective of the season. Third one is the dry subhumid, 21% of the mean annual precipitation, that is 600 to 900. Droughts are moderate here. Finally, there is no drought in humid and perhumid areas. Once again, I would like to impress upon you that drought prone areas. Here, number one, arid zone, 20% of mean annual precipitation receiving areas, that means 100 to 400 mm, where water deficit is throughout the year. Arid zone. Semi-arid zone, 37% of the mean annual precipitation, that means 400 to 600 mm. Now, water surplus in some months, water deficit in some months. Now, dry subhumid, 20% of the mean annual precipitation, that is 600 to 900. Now, droughts are moderate. Now, humid and perhumid areas are remaining region, so where there is no possibility for rain. So, here I would like to impress upon you that drought prone areas are semi-arid zone and semi-arid zone. Of course, dry subhumid moderate droughts are there. This is what I would like to impress upon you with reference to agriculture meteorology. Agriculture meteorology point of view. Now, finally, reasons for recurring of drought. Drought is a recurring phenomenon. Everybody knows it. Why? So the first reason is, as far as India is concerned, the physical and climatic characteristics of India is number one point. Number two is considerable variation is there in the annual precipitation. Even though the annual precipitation is around, in some books, you will find 1150 mm. In some books, 1194 mm average precipitation of India, whatever it may be. Okay. There is a considerable variation in the rainfall. First one is the physical and climatic conditions. The third one is about 73% of the total annual rainfall is received in just 100 days. Out of 365 days, 73% of the rainfall or precipitation is received in 100 days. The remaining 265 days, there is no precipitation or rainfall. This is another thing. Even though India receives abundant rain as a whole, the disparity in its distribution. Fourth point is disparity in its distribution. Point number one for recurring of drought is the physical, geography. Eastern side, Bay of Bengal, western side, Arabian Sea, southern side, Indian Ocean, northern side, Himalayas are there, eastern Ghats are there, western Ghats are there, peninsular India is there, Vindhya ranges are there. The physical features dominate with reference to occurrence of the drought that we cannot avoid. Second thing, the considerable annual variation. Third point, 73% of the rainfall is received just in 100 days. And the disparity in its distribution is the fourth factor. The fifth factor is around 30% of the cropped area in the country receives less than 750 mm rainfall. 750 mm rainfall less. That's what I told 2 minutes back, 2 minutes before, from the agriculture meteorological point of view. 750 mm and less rainfall area is 33%. That's what I told. Now, the per capita water availability is always decreasing, and the traditional water harvesting and storing technologies are slowly abandoned. So traditional water storing, in the advances I will tell what are the traditional water harvesting and storing structures. So they are slowly being abandoned because of several reasons. Maybe one of the reasons is the urbanization, etc. Another important point is the irrigation facilities are diminishing. At the same time, the groundwater is going on decreasing because we are extracting groundwater in a unhealthy way. In other words, as far as drought is concerned, this word is mentioned in several books. The last point is in peninsular region, availability of surface water itself becomes scarce in the years of rainfall insufficiency. Let us forget about the groundwater. Even surface water in the peninsular India is substantially less. So these are the reasons for the reoccurrence or recurrence of drought, starting from physical structure to the peninsular India. Even surface water storage facilities, harvesting and storage facilities are decreasing. These are the reasons for drought. So thanking you very much for your patient hearing.